I just pause the record.
There we go. Okay. So the topic is to do with actually training for women over 40s, right? And for over 40s means anybody, any age. Yeah. Okay. Guys, listen, before we start, no, what I wanted to say was when I'm talking about some things to do with science, which means like with the data and all those things which I have to show, yeah, and take it from that value. Do not take it as like I'm trying to make differentiations, okay, between the genders and all those things. So there are certain differences, and I'm just trying to show which is the one we can best utilize. You know, first and foremost, you're probably wondering who's this, the guy talking about female fitness, about damn menopause and later, you know, what the hell does he know? He's 50 years old. He has not gone through menopause or whatever he's going through. But what I'm trying to say is I'm just talking about the science aspect. I will never know about the, what really happens during menopause. Yeah. But I have got doses of it from my friends, a lot. Yeah. Of them who keeps telling me to stay in my place. Yeah. Okay. First and foremost, you know, I want to tell you about a term called disevolution. Now, this term was by this Dr. Daniel Lieberman, who said, this is not to do with the age or anything of that sort. I just wanted to talk about that term, okay? What he's been saying is because over a period of time, what has been happening is through centuries, and especially in the last few decades, what has been happening is that the humans are getting actually weaker in the sense of when the data was collected of the skeletal system of the present day male and female, both male and female, yeah, what has been found that the bone mass of the present people is much lesser, which means the girth around the wrist, the girth around the elbow, the knee, the ankle. These are the ones from where we get to know, you know, what was the thing happening. So what has been realized is over a period of few decades, it is actually going much worse. So we are getting weaker. If the bone mass is lesser, yeah, over a period of time, of course, the muscles will be lesser. And because that, which also means the stress on the body is also less. Okay. Now this is all over, but some of the areas in the world, especially the tribal areas, that has not been the case. And also in the East European nations. And I mean, whenever I'm saying these kind of things, it sounds as if where the conditions are harsh, you know, that is where it's okay, the bone mass is okay, where the people have progressed in terms of urbanization and all those things over the last few decades. There's where the problem is arising in terms of the bone mass and the mineral mass in the bones. Now, what it means is the amount of stress on the male and female is lesser. Stress means whatever the movement you're doing throughout the day. So we are probably sitting more often, whereby our elders who were there, they used to move more often. Maybe because there were no chairs, they used to sit on the ground, and coming up and down from the ground, that is also a lot of physical things were happening. So that is why the bone mass was better. So you know, because today, certainly we're going to talk about osteoporosis and many of the other things, right? Which the women are going to go through much more often. Yeah. So I'm just letting you know where I'm coming from. Okay, from the evolutionary point of view. You know, one of the jokes which I heard about, because you know, the Siberian women, the Russian women, I'm talking the Siberian women, they are supposed to be one of the stronger, you know, and we've traveled through Siberia and all of them are always straight and erect, good bone mass, strong women, and able to do things. Okay. So now this is just a joke. The Russian woman asks her husband, do you love me? Yeah. And the husband says, I love you, I respect you, and I'm slightly scared of you. Now, so slightly scared of you just because of the fact that she's strong enough to be able to handle him. And a Russian man is usually a strong guy. Usually, that's what I mean. Okay. Now, when all of us, if you're listening to this, and all of you guys, all of you ladies also, are do a lot of physical activity, and you have been doing it for quite some time. It's not like just you come for this talk and then you decide, okay, I'm going to do some physical activity, but you have been training for a long time. I know Bela has been training for more than 30-35 years, and Sunu I also know. And as Sunil, the little that I know of is that you do exercise. Okay, Madhuri is forced into exercising because of me. Okay, no, anyway, so what I'm saying is you have been exercising for quite some time. Yeah, and what I like personally, like, and I'm listening to many of the other sports coaches and the Russian coaches and all those things, is the fact that the physical pursuits, whichever we do, all of us, if you're exercising, if you're running, and all the doing whatever you do, is so that you can go as best as you can. Yeah, and you can keep going whichever way you can, and it also dissolves in some manner the social order or the class, when you're training with other people around you. Okay, so you also get to see what are you right now in terms of your own physicality. Well, and quoting the Russian coach, he says, that life is usually a big psychological warfare, and that you play with yourself. Okay, and this is actually David Goggins, and the most important conversation which you can have is usually with yourself. Now, when we ask about ourselves in terms of where do we stand right now, yeah, and going ahead, many of the tribes, I'm just talking about a tribe, I was in Mexico for some time. So in this tribe, they used to believe that as you get older, actually you get better. Physically, you get better. That's what they believe. They're like, I will be faster as I get older. I'll be stronger as I get older. Male or female, doesn't matter. So in that tribe, everyone behaved like that. Do you understand the difference? So if they are doing something physically, whatever, they would behave in that manner. So automatically, the older person would be doing more. Now, the thing is, you can see the life of a tribal is not that much. They die in their maybe early 40s or early 50s. We do not know. Okay, I'm not talking about the lifespan of these people. I'm just saying that is what the tribe believed in. Okay, not only mentally you grow, physically also you are better and stronger. And we, of course, behave in a different manner. I know for a fact that, we have, Madhuri's been to my hometown, and we live in a joint family. My dad is one of the 12, so youngest brother, youngest son. And he was born when my grandmother was 48 years old. Yeah. And this place, Madhuri knows, we have this 85, right now she's nearly 90-year-old, but she is actually the strongest woman in terms of ability to do things around the house. She gets up at 5 o'clock. She makes sure all her the daughter-in-laws wake up, the 3 of them, but she doesn't tell them what to do. But she's the one actually lifting the wood to make the fire, actually making sure the things happen around the house. And these daughter-in-laws are also doing around the kitchen and all, but she's doing the one which is the most load-bearing thing. That's what I'm trying to say. The load-bearing work, this 85-year-old woman is doing, and Madhuri can always say no, whatever, but understand that this 85-year-old woman is the one who's actually doing the most load-bearing thing. She's never been told. She also climbs the coconut tree to get the coconut down, So no, she was never told. From childhood she was doing, and she's never been told that you can't do this thing. Her breast is only nearly halfway to her, all the way down, but she still does most of the physical work. Now, I want to show you a few things which happen to women and men. Okay, I just want to show you this thing. Okay, when we exercise, one of the biggest questions I used to face from women was that I will become muscular, I will become all this thing and all, which is not the case. And many of you know that anyway. But I'm just showing you. The other day we were talking about the fibers. If you, sorry, Sonal was not there, so I'm just going to go to the fiber one first, and then come to this one. Okay, guys. Okay. Okay, I just want to show you this one. Okay, guys. Whenever you exercise, there are all these fibers which are there, as you can see. The muscle mass, the connective tissue, the myofibril, the fibrils are the fibers, which is what we are talking about. This myofibril hypertrophy, hypertrophy. Now, when we're talking about the myofibril or sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, which is the size of the muscle, that is where the strength lies. This myofibril. Please understand that, those dots which you're seeing. Okay. Now let me come to the other slide. Usually, what happens is, we are talking about women and men right now. Okay. So usually about 75% of the untrained women, I'm talking about untrained. Imagine when you recently started training. Yeah. They have the slow twitch fiber. Now, slow twitch fiber is the one which is ideal for aerobic activity. Aerobic activity means continuous activity. Okay. So they have more of the slow twitch fiber, whereas the strength training one, strength means lifting heavy weights and to be able to do strength and power moves, are usually with only 25% of the female population. Okay. Which is not the case with the men. Okay. So now, why this gender thing, we do not know. It may be because through centuries and evolutionary wise, most of the strength and the power demands were met by the men, and the power and strength demands on the everyday life was not as much on the female over centuries. So maybe because of that, it is the case, and that is why many of these women who excel in sport, they may be the one who are those who fall in the 25% category. Okay, in terms of the fiber types I'm talking about. This type 1 fiber is the one which is the aerobic one. Okay, which is the one which women have more compared to the other two, which is type 2A, and type 2A and 2X are the ones which are more for strength oriented things. Okay, so you may find that some of the women are extremely strong. I know Bella has a few friends like Z and all who are extremely strong, who are muscular and all those things. So they are the ones who may be falling in the 25% category who have this affinity and ability to do the strength and power moves easier. Okay, so are we clear on this graph, please, so that we can progress from here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of the same. So now, let me tell you, how do we see as we get older? The biggest problem lies in the irrespective of the fact that what I'm saying is it is lesser doesn't mean it is not there. It is still there, and the type 2 fiber, which is the fast twitch fiber, which is ideal for strength development, is the one which we lose with age. Okay, that is the one which we lose with age as we get older. Now, any time of their life, whenever you decide to train, it is still there, lying over there, and you're not worked on it. So over a period of time, it will develop. Okay, the type 2A, and so you may not get very muscular. You will be stronger, but not as strong as the man who does it only a little bit often. Okay, so now that is why, because the strength is the most important aspect as you get older, because strength is the one which is the base for everything, for power development, for endurance, for even aerobic activity, agility, balance, all the things. Strength is the foundation. From there comes everything else. So we still have to work hard on it. Okay, all of us we have to emphasize on the strength aspect anyway. So, and in the last few lectures, we have spoken about the strength being anything being 5 and less repetitions wise. We cannot do that. Like, that amount of load we cannot lift because many of us are not training that often, or we have not been used to training like that. Okay, if we are not used to training like that, maybe because of injuries, or maybe because we've never trained like that, or maybe because we were never told to train like that. Okay, we were always told to do higher reps and all those things just to stay lean and all. Okay, so but we need to train like that. So if we need to train like that, what we need to do is first develop our strength and technique for those few exercises very well, so that we can do that. We will talk about it soon, okay, as to what exercises those are. Okay, so now guys, if you have any questions, please do stop me, okay, and ask as to what it is, or even if you do not agree with anything what I'm saying, okay, so that everybody else also understands. Okay, the psychology, the physiological differences between male and female at any age, irrespective of above 40 or not, is the fact that the muscular fibers which I showed you in the picture, they are lesser, so they are lesser in quantity overall. If it is aerobic, you saw the graph, okay, it may be slow twitch or fast twitch, they're still lesser anyway. Yeah, and on top of it, they are smaller, which means they are thinner. So what happens is when you are exercising, when a male exercises, the belly is big. You understand belly, right? Muscle belly, which is the center of the muscle. Okay, the muscle belly is usually bigger for the male. For the female is lesser, so they are leaner. Yeah, flatter. So and the girth doesn't go up so much. So it is not easy or possible for a woman to be looking very muscular. When I say it as a generalization, some of the women are also bodybuilders. They do work at it. You can say Serena Williams, but she's naturally broad shoulder and muscular. Okay, and many of the African American women, like the Black American women, they are also have the more fast twitch fibers, purely because of during the slavery, they kept the strong and the fit ones. That is why they have that thing in them. Okay, but overall around the world, that is what it is. Okay, so what we say is we have to, when we want to get stronger after 40, what happens is, the hormonal changes takes place. When we are talking about so we are talking about pre-menopause, after menopause, and thereafter. Okay, so there are it's called a female triad. Triad means 3 issues which are very important for females. Okay, and which also leads to the damage of the health. Women have more image issues, body image issues. Women nowadays, is happening with men also, but women usually have more body image issues growing up, even during the teenage time and thereafter. Okay, so they have more women have disordered eating. Disordered eating means which usually happen because of body image issue like anorexia and bulimia. Okay, and you heard of amenorrhea? Amenorrhea is like the periods are not happening. Okay, and you also may have heard of dysmenorrhea, which means painful periods. Okay, doc probably knows. Hypermenorrhea, which means like too much excessive bleeding, and oligomenorrhea, which is like light, very light, which is also issue. It usually happens because of and it happens during the teenage time and thereafter continues. Usually happens because of inadequate eating, not eating enough, eating less. People who have bulimia and amenorrhea also. So these 3 issues, those 3 issues which I had told you about, this hyper and oligo, is because of eating issues, and also life event stresses, which leads to all these issues. Whenever these issues arise, these 3 issues arise, it leads to other problems, because it is nature that you should have it naturally, the easy way of proper menstruation period and all during whenever you had it. Okay.
Sorry, I have a question. Is this amenorrhea less periods? Is it?
No. When you do not have periods.
Okay, when you do not have periods, is it nutrition and stress, or is it also over exercising?
So yeah, it's a good question actually. So what amenorrhea is when you miss a period and you do not get period and you're not pregnant also. Let me be clear on that. So you're not pregnant and you do not have period for maybe 2 or 3 months. Okay. That is also a problem. Yeah. Now the thing is, it can happen to females if your body fat percentage goes down very low. Do you understand? So like, for example, if your body fat percentage, usually I'm just saying, not all the time, whenever I quote a number, it is statistics wise. As soon as it goes 15 and lesser, 15% and lesser body fat, high risk of amenorrhea. Okay. And this is also the case which happens with many of the athletes, female athletes. Okay. Like a wrestler or a weightlifter. You know why? Because they are concerned with body weight. So because they can compete according to their body weight. So wrestler competes according to their body weight. Weightlifter competes according to their body weight. So they want to have as much muscle mass as possible and as less body fat as possible, because then they can do more. Okay. So, so it happens with many of the, these weight category sports women. And it happens to, of course, to the anorexic and the bulimic people. But that can be any of the three. But when it is low body fat, that is what it is. And excessive means too much exercising, yeah, whereby there is no recovery. Recovery means the muscles are not able to recover, the body is not able to recover. The body will always prioritize body first and other issues later. So that is way down the order of priority. I'm talking about periods, okay, or uterus, okay. So in terms of priority, that is way down because the body wants to save itself first. So if you are overtly exercising, doing too much of endurance activity, usually too much of endurance activity or too heavy lifting without enough rest, those things can happen, which is, some of the, you know, one of the drugs, which is that, Centron. I don't know if you've heard of Centron. This is a birth control pill, which you take, you know, once a week kind of pill. I don't know. I may be wrong totally, but I'm just saying it. Okay. Centron or Saheli, this is a birth control pill, which is promoted in India. That also is a side effect of that is amenorrhea. Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it can be one of the side effects, but it is not ideal. This is not ideal for the females. Now, going ahead, the other thing is osteoporosis. Now, we've already said women lack in the strength fiber department. That is why we need to put more emphasis on the osteoporosis. Yeah, I already told you right in the beginning about this evolution, which is for male and female. Yeah, both. Okay, because with osteoporosis, it is much more so female compared to male because of the hormonal changes taking place after menopause. It also is as high risk right after pregnancy, but thereafter, usually after menopause. Okay. The other things which take place right after menopause is the fact of high BP, which can happen because now that a female cannot conceive anymore. Yeah, you must have seen many of the older women. They start having slightly more facial hair. Yeah, the jawline increases slightly, and the girth around the tummy goes up. You can't see my tummy, but that's what I'm touching. So girth around the tummy goes up. So that is what is a male characteristic. So facial hair, the tummy going up. So these are all because you can't. A female cannot conceive anymore, so she tends to become more like a man. And that is why there's it's easier to put on weight around the tummy, yeah, after menopause. And at the same time, the muscle mass is not going up, but the body fat rises. Male have the thing of testosterone, which actually leads to having higher muscle mass. Even if he's not exercising, he has higher muscle mass simply because of testosterone. Testosterone levels go down, but they do not disappear. Whereas female do have some amount of testosterone throughout life, but as after menopause, it drastically goes down. And even the estrogen goes down. Now, what happens is when you are training hard, now one of the most important hormone is the growth hormone for females and males, okay? Now, this growth hormone is the one which also helps in muscle building. even though we may have less, for example, what I said about the fast twitch fibers, we may have less, but as long as we are working at it to maintain it, we will do well. Yeah, we will do well with the holding on to those kind of muscle fibers, which is the fast twitch muscle fiber, the strength fibers. So, well, where was I? Yeah. So I'm going off track here and there sometimes. So we have to work hard at those fibers. Okay. Now, what we advise is, as long as you're exercising for 2 to 3 years, 2 to 3 years of training. Okay. When I say female should always do strength training, always strength training, because we have to work harder on the upper body. Lower body is nearly equal to men, but upper body is the one we neglect. Yeah. So we have to actually work harder on the upper body. Okay. So that the muscle mass goes up and the bone mass stays well. Okay. The emphasis should always be on free weights and more on the upper body weights, upper body free weights. Okay. To start with, once you've developed a good base for about 2 to 3 years of 2 to 3 years of normal training, I'm saying, which is you developed a good strength in the abdominal and lower back region. Once you developed a good strength in the abdominal and lower back region, repeating it, okay, then you must attempt total body exercises. Now, total body exercises does not mean one movement, okay? So what it means is power clean, whereby you are trying to do the whole body together. Whereby you've seen power clean, like clean and jerk. You've seen in the weightlifting movement, the clean and jerk, power clean. Do you want me to show it to you, or you're okay? Do you want me to show it to you? Are you okay? I can always ask Kushi to do it. But
we know.
You know, okay. Power clean, things like power clean, clean and jerk, snatch, and push press, whereby the whole body is involving and not just a singular exercise, not just one movement. Okay. So when you do these kind of exercises after certain adequate amount of base, those are the ones which will help you the most. Yeah. In terms of overall, because they are good for balance. They are good for agility because it's a power move. Power means speed and strength together. And in life, that is what you need the most. Okay. Jump means that is also a power move, jumping. Yeah. But there's a lot of stress on the bone mass, and that is why the bone mass also increases. But of course, if you're overweight or if you have an issue, you should not be doing it. But jumping, even if you're doing a few inches off the ground, that is good for the skeletal system. Okay.
CT, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. And then I have a question.
Okay. Remember, jumping means even if you're doing 1 or 2 inches off, like skipping, yeah, that is the lowest form, like, the beginner form, skipping. Okay. Skipping is a neuromuscular coordination, but even if you have a virtual skipping rope, that is also okay to begin with. Okay. But after that, a certain amount, jumping activities is good for you, as long as you're not overweight or don't have a knee issue. Bira, you want to ask a question?
Yeah, I have osteoporosis, as you know, osteopenia, and you make me do, or you used to make me do these jumps, these plyometric jumps, right?
You do right now also.
Yeah, so for bone density, to increase the bone density. But what I wanted to ask you is,
mainly the lower body, yeah.
Yeah, so what I wanted to ask you is, when I do these jumps, is the bone density, is it only affecting my legs and my hips, or does it affect my spine and my shoulders also? Does it affect my bone density everywhere?
Yeah, okay.
By doing plyometric jumps?
That's a good question. Now, the thing is, usually whenever you exercise, the hormonal response, like if you exercise the lower body, of course, the muscle in the lower body will be getting bigger and stronger, right? But when the blood is flowing with hormones, it is not thinking, oh, I'll go there only. Okay. When the blood is overflowing with the hormones, going here, there, everywhere. Okay. So it helps overall, but primarily it will help more so in the lower body, simply because that is the movement you're doing. Now, the thing is, if it was a push up with a clap, when the body is horizontal like this, then of course it will help the upper body more and the lower body together, but it is so much more harder. Okay, to begin with, it is easier to do the lower body, and you must do the lower body anyway because that is more important for daily life. But females do have weaker upper body, so that the safest way is to do only weight training. Now, what I'm trying to make you understand is weight training. Why should it be weight training? Okay, is because see, and why should the bone mass get thicker or better? Because of the weight training. Usually, it is impact. Jumping is impact. Impact means ground is there and you're hitting yourself, right? So when you are hitting over a period of time, the skeletal mass increases over there. That is why you see the kids doing a lot of it, all the time. If you leave them be like young kids, and as they grow older, they also do a lot of it, and that is how the bone mass also increases and gets better. But nowadays is reducing because they are always sitting most of the time. Okay, where was I? So that is why it helps. The weight training now. If you flex your hand, right now, wherever you flex your hand, right now you can tighten your legs. For example, extend your knee, and when you tighten your legs, what do you feel? You feel that the muscle is pulling on the knee and from the hip. Okay, so the muscle is pulling hard. Where can it pull? It pulls on the bone. So actually it is stressing the bone to work. So whenever you're exercising, the muscle pulls, it stresses the bone. So weight training is safer than the jumping activity. Yeah, and it's easier to do as long as you're doing well. So it's safer. It's a safer form of exercise for the muscle, for the bone mass and the muscle mass. So that is to do with the osteoporosis, which is what I was saying. There's something else just skipped my mind. Yes.
Sunil, can I just add that I just want to share that I have personally experienced this, exactly what he's talking about. Because even though I've been working out, right, doing workouts for many years, for a couple of decades, but weight training, dedicated weight training, from 2015 to 2018, so literally 3.5 years of just doing those compound movements, and then from in the last 2 years only doing the clean and jerks and snatches. And I have found everything, from the wrist getting thicker to the forearms getting stronger to all the imbalances that were there in the body, of the lower body bigger, upper body weaker, the strength in the abs, all of that very, very gradually I have felt the difference. So I just wanted to say that, from that perspective. Yeah.
But
even in all the results, in the blood test results, the bone mass density, the bone density showing it to be so much better than what it was earlier, and the lesser fatigue and feeling, unless, I mean, I've overdone it many times, but when I wasn't overdoing it, then lesser fatigue was definitely a huge thing. Yeah.
Okay. Good. She spoke about, so I got that point back again, which I had forgotten. Now, the thing is, when you exercise, what happens is the blood is rushing with all these things, the hormones, minerals, and everything else. It is going to the muscle, and your muscle is getting stronger, and hopefully. But what is happening is the tendons. Yeah, see, the mineral mass and a lot of the bone marrow produces a lot of it. The RBC, WBC, and all those things. So there's a lot of mineral over there also. Yeah, but the bone mass also needs to get bigger, right? That is where the osteoporosis issue is, that the bone mass is, like in Bela's case, osteopenia is getting thinner. Yeah, and now what happens is tendons, joints, the ligaments, and the bone. So when I'm saying when you're exercising, you're getting those benefits, the blood is rushing over there and all those things. Nearly 98 to 99% of this nutrients and everything else happening, or the growth happening, is happening with the muscle. Barely 1 or 2% of it is actually happening around the joints and the bone. Because you have to understand, the capillaries and the blood circulation is much, much lesser over there compared to the muscle. Okay, so it takes so much more longer for the bone mass to get better. It gets so much more longer for the joint to get stronger. Yeah, the joints. So it takes for the tendons and ligaments to get those benefits of the exercise which you have been doing. So to increase your bone mass, getting the joints and ligaments and tendons stronger requires a lot of patience. And that is keeping all the parameters in place, which means like, you're not had an accident, you're not had any health issues and all those things, and you're continuously training. Yeah. So that is how it helps over a period of time. Okay. Women also have a tendency of having more ACL issues, the knee problem, I'm saying, because the tendons, the thickness is slightly lesser, okay, around the joints. So the thickness of the tendons and ligaments slightly lesser. So higher risk, I'm just saying, okay, of all these things happening. We need to make sure that we do all this power moves to make sure that we have the higher bone mass. Okay, I want to show you one more thing, okay? Just showing you once and then we'll talk about it, okay? Where is this? Okay, hold on a sec. Okay, hold on a sec. This and this. Okay. Okay, we already spoke about the fact that we have this muscle fibers type 1, which is the slow twitch, and 2A and 2X, okay, this is the fast twitch ones. Now, we already said that women have higher type 1, aerobic 1 qualities, okay? And we need to work on our 2A and 2X. So now this 2A, which is the one, which is the aerobic and anaerobic one, it can go either ways. Okay, so we have those. So if we are always doing aerobic activity, which is, oh, I'm going for a walk right now, or I'm going for this thing because I want to be lean and thin and all those things. Yeah, and that is what I've always heard, that walking is the best thing. But walking is a natural thing. It is not exercise. If you're walking, you're supposed to walk. Yeah, it is not a big thing. Okay. So walking, do not count walking as an exercise, okay, if you're going for a walk for an hour or so, okay. So this, the other one, which is the type 2A, which is aerobic and anaerobic. So I would just talk about colors right now. So type 1 is usually the red twitch fiber, okay. Type 2 is usually the fast twitch fiber, which is white in color, usually, okay. So now the type 2A is slightly pinkish, so which can go either way. So it can go into the fast twitch, which is totally anaerobic, which is 2X, or it can go towards the type 1, which is aerobic. So if we are training mainly aerobically, so what is going to happen? Even the fast twitch, which has the tendency to be fast twitch, will actually become more aerobic oriented, okay, and you will lose the strength oriented fibers lesser. Actually, it will go down lesser for you, okay. So so we will have more of what we already have, okay. So that is what would happen to us if we are always doing aerobic kind of activities, and more aerobic kind of activities compared to the anaerobic. Anaerobic means not in the presence of oxygen, okay. Now I want to show you one more thing. Okay, now if you see over here, it shows the target heart rate zone. Can you see? And you can go wherever according to your heart rate, and then you will see. When we say 50%, can you see your numbers? Wherever you are according to your age, you can check your number, okay, which is 50 to 85%. So let us just say, for example, a female who's 45 years old, or let's say 50 years old, okay, who's between 85 to 145. Now I'm just saying, I'm just going to talk about this only, okay. I'm just talking about an example of a 50-year-old woman whose heart rate target zone is between 85 to 145. Are we clear? So you can listen to yourself according to that number later, okay? So now I'm talking about a 50-year-old woman who's after, like she's recently gone through menopause. And by the way, guys, the Asians go through menopause 1 or 2 years before the Caucasians do. Caucasians usually have it around 50-50. It's reducing. If you have had an operation and all those things, then it's a different thing. But apart from that, usually it is around the late 40s. Caucasians have it 1 or 2 years later. Where was I? Okay, 85 to 145. That was the number, right? Or 135. What was it? What was it? I need to get that number.
145. 145.
It was 145. Okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, so 85 to 145. Now, just going a little bit into the science aspect, okay, guys, so that, and if it's too much, please let me know. Or if it's too boring also, please let me know. You don't have to send the comments back to me saying like, you are dwelling into this science aspect. The only one over here who will understand is Sunu, and she will say, you know what, this is too basic. Sunu is a doctor, by the way. So that is why I'm saying. Okay, guys. Whenever we have exercising, cells, which is the, we are all made up of cells. Whenever you're exercising, the energy is coming from mitochondria. Okay, mitochondria, the ATP is the unit of where all those energy is taking place. Now, mitochondria is the one where the energy is there. Please understand. Okay, and we have the muscle and all those things, which is inside the muscle. All the energy is over here. Now, when we exercise, we want to train this mitochondria to do aerobic, semi-anaerobic or anaerobic activity. We want to train this mitochondria really well, okay, to be able to do more of something, okay, some kind of activity. I can say, okay, muscle mass and all those things, I'm going down as basic as possible, as low, as nano as possible. That is why I'm speaking to you like this, okay? So now if I'm training my mitochondria, okay, I'm going to walk only, and I'm going for a spinning class only, I'm going for only Zumba class, and I'm going to do this only, okay? What does the mitochondria think of? That is it. I'm good for this. I'm not good for lifting weights. I'm not good for that, like my that old lady in the village who's always lifting logs in the morning and whenever, erratically. She's not doing weight training. She's not thinking that she's doing the weight training, but she's been doing that forever. Yeah. So, the mitochondria is used to being in a certain way. Okay. You have not challenged that mitochondria to be any different. Okay. To be any different. Please understand, aerobic means in the presence of oxygen. In the presence of oxygen means right now you're just sitting or sleeping, you're still working aerobically, which means as long as you're alive, it is there. So your type 1 fiber will stay with you forever, as long as you're alive. The other day I shared the photo of that the old lady, 101 or 102-year-old, who started running at the age of 90. Yeah, you can still start running at the age of 90 and you'll still do well. But strength, not possible unless and until you really work at it and try to keep it. Okay. So same thing, coming back to this mitochondria. So we have to train this mitochondria to be able to do other kind of activities and be efficient at doing those kind of other activities. Now, if you say, you know what, I will go and lift weights, and I've done a little bit. But to be training regularly, this mitochondria needs to understand at the basic level that, you know what, I'm good for strength also. And I do this more often also. The strength aspect, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Now, when I say strength, and I don't want to talk to you about strength, and I want to talk to you because we have been impressed with the Russians. So I always say Russian simply because as people, the Russian means the Siberian region, the Mongolian region. As people, we've always found that we found that they are just, everybody is very, very physically impressive. It is not just one or two people, the whole population. So when, we say, okay, you know what, we need to be strong and we need to do this physically active. We don't mean like, lift 200 kilos. I don't mean lift 200 kilos. I don't mean lift, throughout the day, go for CrossFit and kill yourself for that 1 hour. It is not about that 1 hour of training and trying to be strong for that time only. You have to be strong, like my grandmother in the village, who's strong throughout the day. She's not strong only in the morning doing the things. She's strong throughout the day, whenever the need arises. What I'm saying is to be strong like our grandfather, a farmer who used to be able to lift things, walk around, lifting, doing anything, to be able to do the thing anytime, not go to the gym. And you know what? I'll go to the gym. I will train hard, and that's it. I've done that for half an hour or 1 hour, and I'm strong. But you have to be strong throughout. We are not talking about heavy. You have to be, the population as a base needs to be strong. That is the impressive part about Russians or the Mongolian, is the fact that a 4-year-old was doing taking water from the stream and lifting 2 buckets and giving it to the mother, because that is what they do from a young age. And he's not thinking like, he's only 4-year-old. He's not supposed to lift 10 kilos of water and walk around. He's not thinking. Neither are the parents thinking. Nobody's thinking. They're just doing. Okay. So what I'm saying is, once you start training like that, whereby you're not training to exhaustion, whereby you're not training to kill yourself, that this kind of heavy lifting is normal. That is when you have achieved that purpose of that mitochondrial level, whereby it's able to handle both sides. Okay. Not only the heavy lifting whenever the need arises, and also the aerobically able to do whatever, whenever the need arises. Is it too much, or is it okay? Have you understood this, what I was saying about the energy system and the mitochondria?
Yeah.
Huh? Did you understand or no? If you don't understand, please say so.
Yes.
Now you know how much pressure I'm under, huh? Every single day to say, come on, do this, do that. There is no backing out.
How many buckets do you lift?
He'll tell you.
She doesn't lift buckets. She just has to look after the family. That's it. Proper Indian housewife. I'm kidding. Okay, guys. That is what when we talk about strength, it is like it is what is happening in the Instagram world is the fact that what this female puts up, showing her big bum and everything else. I lifted 100 kilos. I did this today. I did so much today. But rest of the day, she's not done anything. They're not strong throughout the day. Yeah. When the other day when I was talking to Sunu about exercise and all, what I was telling her was, do not train so hard that you are shattered, and you're crawling on your knees coming out, all the time. That is not called strength. That is called getting exhausted. That is called pushing your body to the limit. You should do that once in a while. Once in a while, you should challenge yourself once in a while, which means like once in a month, maybe once in 2 months, maybe, whereby you are going up to the limit. But otherwise, your base should be so strong, base in the sense that the amount of weight you're lifting and all those things should be so easy, effortless. So for example, I'm just saying, okay, whatever you're doing, let's say I'm saying, okay, you have to do 10, same example, so please don't mind. So let's just say I give you 20 kilos on the bar or weight or whatever, and I ask you to do 10 reps, and 10 reps is the maximum you can do with this 20 kilos. We don't want to do that, because that way you're hitting your failure all the time. So that you will not be getting better, because you do 20 kilos to their failure, maybe a few sets, you need to rest the next day. I'm just giving an example. You need to rest the next day. You maybe 2 days. So you will end up doing maybe 2 or 3 times in a week. Okay. It is better that with the 20 kilos, you do only 4 reps, 4 repetitions. So it's so easy for you. It's easy on the body. Now you can do it every day. Now, throughout the week, when you've done this, you actually done more than the other person who's done it. And at the same time, what has happened to the body is, you know what, this is normal. I can take it easily. I can recover over this because you have not shattered it. Okay. So at an easy level, I keep it, and I keep that easy level over a period of time. Actually, I end up doing more than the other person who's actually shattering the body. Yeah. And what happens over a period of time is that easy level keeps on rising. That 20 becomes 22, maybe in a month's time, or maybe in a 2 months' time, it becomes 25. But over the period of the year, you'll be somewhere around 40, and you're still exercising very easy. You're feeling very easy about whatever you're doing. Okay. That is a sign of, you know what, I have strength all the time. That is that sign. Not going only 2 or 3 times a week and lifting heavy, and you know what, and my legs are shaking, and you say, you know, my legs are shaking, I felt like this and I felt like that. That is not called true strength. That is once in a while. It's okay for example, just giving an example. Okay, I'm giving an example. Power lifters or Olympic weightlifters lifting. They never lift heavy throughout the year. They lift heavy only twice in a year. Twice a year they will lift heavy, which means heavy means close to. Oh yeah, see now I went on tangent. The stepping back. Okay, stepping back to that heart rate. Remember the heart rate? Totally missed out of my understanding. 85 to 145. So when I was talking about the mitochondria, yeah. So we are all over the place over here. When I was talking about the mitochondria, when you're working aerobically, so the heart rate is working at 85, which is 50%. Yeah, the heart itself is not getting stronger. The heart muscles are also not getting stronger. The heart needs to get slightly bigger, just like the muscles, right? It needs to be having the stretching ability, which means like I can get bigger and strong. So when you do that at about 70 to 75%, which is the aerobic anaerobic one, yeah. So it is able to do that. Now the thing is, for example, I'm just saying, if I'm going like this, which means I'm going all out, like interval training at a high level all the time, because I've been told, what, HIIT workouts are the best workouts at IIT. Let me go all out for 20 seconds or 10. All that is doing is just twitching. It's twitching. It is not lengthening. Okay. So that kind of interval training is not ideal. It's once in a while is okay, but not ideal for us. Okay. What we need to do is to get the heart stronger. We need to make sure that the heart muscles also lengthen and it gets bigger. Now, when I train for interval training only, let's come back. When we do the steady state, steady state, when you are keeping the heart rate at about 60 to 65%. Yeah. So in that case, it's about 90 to 100. Yeah. If you're keeping it over there once or twice a week, that is good for the heart. So over a period of time, it will get better. Now, the interval training has got its place so that we do that aerobic, anaerobic one. So, you must have heard this very often, like, train in a state of whereby you're able to have a conversation, to speak a sentence. Yeah. But not a paragraph. Okay. A sentence. Okay. So that is your aerobic state whereby you're just jogging and you're able to maintain that. So now that is a steady state. You should be able to do that for 40 minutes minimum. Then you are hitting the steady state. Okay. Now the thing is, let's just say we do the aerobic, anaerobic one. Now, when we do interval training, the way we want to do interval training is whereby there is interval training. When we say, you get your heart rate up at a higher level. And then when you rest, when you're resting, there is a kind of inertia keeps going, right? The heart rate is still higher. You're stopped. You're standing still. You're not doing anything. You're walking maybe, or maybe you're slow jogging. You're just walking, but the heart rate is still higher. Okay. At that 70% or 75%, you have stopped, but the heart is still at that level, at a 70-75% level. And then you start again. Then you do it again and keep it at 70-75%. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Okay. So that is the time then you are training the type 2A fibers to be more anaerobic, slightly anaerobic.
So
Okay.
this is what we feel when we're under heavy load, right? Like say
no. Heavy load is different.
Huh.
Heavy load is 2x, which is totally the white fiber. The heavy load for a certain period of time. But if you're doing the heavy load with proper intervals, which means like only 30-second rest or 1 minute rest, that is not heavy load. That is a moderate load, and then you'll be okay with it. But that is not what I was talking about. Right now, I was talking about the HIIT, because HIIT is so popular with the community and the people that you do not realize the fact that it has got caloric burning and all those things happening. But we are talking about the heart, right? We want to get the heart stronger. And when I am talking about stronger, please do not think about strong as if, one of those competitors. For us, I'm saying, when I say stronger, I mean, we want to be generally strong, generally better than the rest of the population. at a higher level than the rest of the population. That is what I mean strong. Lifting 50 kilos, then if you're able to lift 40 to 50 kilos, you're better than the rest. You're already much better. Okay. The ability to do that throughout the day is much better. Okay. So that was about the heart rate. What was I talking about earlier? Damn it. I have to reverse this damn video to know what I was saying. Okay. Did you understand the mitochondria and the heart, how the heart, to get the heart stronger, and training the mitochondria? Yes. Training the mitochondria in those kind of energy systems. Yeah. The aerobic and the glycolytic system, lactic acid system, and this one. Okay. The monologue is over. Can you just ask if you've understood anything? If you've not understood anything, somebody's falling asleep. Purnima is asleep. She's actually checking her WhatsApp messages, saying what the bullshit is going on over here.
So Sunil, I'm still not clear when you say to do HIIT in a way that your heart gets stronger and where the muscles are not just twitching, they're getting
so let it just say, for example, okay. So I'm talking about the I want the heart to be stronger, and at the same time I want the slightly anaerobic benefits, the mitochondria to be in that 75% state, right? So now I forgot the name of the doctor, the scientist who did this research. What he said was, you should, let's just say, for example, let's just say running. Okay, I'm not talking about any other physical activity. Let's just say I'm running. Okay, I'm running fast, but not as a sprint, at about 75%, 75% or 80%. Okay, so let's just say I want to keep it at 75 to 85%. So let's just say I want my heart rate around, according to that female who was 50 years old, about 130, 125 to 130. Let's just say that. Okay, so I want to keep it at that level. Okay, so now I run for those few seconds maybe, or a certain distance. I run a certain distance. I keep that time. Okay, I run for that long, and then I let the heart be in that inertia state whereby it is going at that level, and then I'm walking, and then as soon as I feel as if the heart rate is coming down below that 125, I start running again. I start running again to keep it at that number all over again. Okay, so I'm training my heart rate at that level. Yeah, and at that zone only. Never train at 90%, because at 90-95% the body, it is too much for the body. The toxins rise in the body, and it is not ideal for you, because it will take you longer to recover. You know, when you see a sprinter do a 400 meter, he cannot do it all over again. He cannot. Actually, he needs to rest for two days before he can actually do it again. Yeah, so it takes so much out of you. Even the topmost 100 meter runner out there, you'll Usain Bolt, only in the final race he gives everything, and he has a world record. He never does it in the heats. Heats, he knows when to back off. He's already winning, he backs off. He doesn't run. Actually, he just follows through in the last 10 to 15 meters. Okay, so that he's not given his everything. Similarly, I was talking about the powerlifter earlier. Similarly, the powerlifter and the weightlifter, they peak only twice a year, during the national championship and the world championship. You know why? Because the strength lies for him to always work at 75% so that the body recovers. It becomes natural for him. And over a period of time, just before the competition, a month or so, they work out hard so that they're able to do that. Now, the topic was above 40s, right? Yeah. Okay, the topic is above 40s. So anyway, guys, just make sure that we work on all those muscle fibers, and we become world champions. Yeah, man. Somehow I tend to be on a tangent all the time.
Does anyone else have a question before I ask again? Otherwise,
no, Vance, please don't ask questions.
Yeah.
That's it. We'll have a very bad time tonight. I'm sick of listening to you all the time.
What would be an ideal exercise plan for people like us?
Sunu, the ideal exercise plan is never there. because as soon as you follow a plan, yeah, it has to change after a period of time, because the law of adaptation is such that you do not want to adapt. Once you adapt to it, you will not have the necessary benefits. So we have to change slightly. Okay, we have to change slightly, but not totally. Okay, so making sure that we work all these 3 muscle fibers, and much more so the type 2 fibers. Yeah, so when we work on the type 2 fibers, it helps us so much more. Yeah, so let's just say when you I already told you, Sunil, like, you know, as long as your abdominal strength and the back strength is there and you work on it over a period of time, you should do the full body exercise. Now, how do we do the full body exercise? Until and unless you start doing the movements now. If you start working on the power clean now, eventually after 1 year or so, then you will be able to lift heavier weights, because you're technically now you're sound. You know, to have a great neuromuscular pathway, you have to create the path. You know, when you walk in the forest, there is no path, but you go there every day, the path is created. Okay, so similarly for the brain, you have to create this path, this trajectory of the movement of the power clean or the clean and jerk or the snatch or the swing or the Turkish get up. So all of this, when you create that pathway over a period of time, now you know have the pathway. Now when you put on the load, it becomes easy for you, because technically now you're sound. Yeah, so those are the things you have to do, Sunu. You have to keep that in the back burner, which is the full body exercise, full body movements, but you have to do it without much weight, so that you get used to the movement, and after a period of time, you'll be able to lift heavier loads with those movements. But because those are the ultimate ones, because those are the ones which gives you the maximum benefit. There is nothing better exercise wise, I'm saying, in the exercise field, or more challenging one than the clean and jerk and snatch. There is nothing. If you ask me which is the best exercise which I can do without having any issue, easiest to learn, and having the maximum benefit and not taxing my body so much, is the kettlebell swing. There is nothing which competes with that, because it's so easy, and it is a powerful move. You cannot do it slowly. It is not to be done slowly. So it is power. So you need the power. And at the same time, you're working your posterior chain. And, you know, remember the other day I was saying the chest gets tight. You know, you need to get your shoulders strong. You need to get your back strong, the butt strong, because those are the muscles you lose with age, right? So if you want to get your butt strong, the shoulder strong, yeah, the tricep strong, automatically in the kettlebell swing, all those things are happening automatically. And now let us just say if you have an imbalance. Now, if you're doing two-handed kettlebell swing, like in the case of Madhuri, it is not advisable, or even Bela also, because both of them have shoulder issue. Okay. Now, what would happen if she does two-hand kettlebell swing all the time, because she prefers to do it all the time? What would happen is the imbalance will always be there, because one hand is actually doing more than the other. Now, barbell training always be there, because there is no unilateral movement, which means not singular hand movement. Now, what would happen is it's so much easier for her actually to do single hand movement and get more benefits, because automatically the shoulder and everything else will be in that position whereby they can do that strength activity, and over a period of time. And she actually doesn't ever need to do those two-handed movements if she wants to get strong, or if but the thing is, Madhuri doesn't listen, so she will always do the 200 movements and always have that problem. Yeah, because you know, somewhere mentally you always want to do heavier and heavier, whereas all that you need to do is do a challenging one and stay light, because if you stay lightweight, you will have the level of adaptation for a longer period of time. And when you are lifting slightly heavier and do lesser, so you have more time for improvement, whereby if you go heavier faster, you will hit your peak faster, and level of adaptation or a law of diminishing returns will also be lesser. The returns will be less for you if you try to go heavy too fast.
But you did mention that 100 kettlebell swings a day is...
Yeah. So it's so easy. let's just say you have that backpack with you and you're doing it with a single hand. The backpack is similar kind of movement. Right now, we don't have kettlebell over here, but it's a similar kind of movement. And you do those, but it should be done, Sunu, in a manner whereby, let's just say you do 10, only 10 reps. Okay. And then you walk away. And then you want to rest for 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 5 minutes, or 10 minutes. It doesn't matter. You come back to it when you want to come back to it. You say, you know what, I'm going to do it again. It should be like as if you're doing normal activity. If you want to maintain that kind of strength. Okay. But I would say within a minute or so, you'll be okay and you can do it again. Yeah. So then now what has happened is you've done 100 reps at a very easy pace without shattering your body. I'm not saying you do it with 20 kilos. And if you do it with 20 kilos, your back is gone. Everything else is also gone. So, you start off low, and level of adaptation wise, you have more benefits because you are keeping that as if, you know what, this is normal for me. This 100 swings, easy for me. I can do it anytime. Okay. And then slowly keep on adding weight, and you keep on doing it on a daily basis. What is happening is it's a fast movement. So it is power. Power means you are developing some kind of strength anyway, because power is strength and speed multiplied. Okay. So it is, the speed is also working. Everything is working, and your hip joint, which is the hinge joint, which is from the pelvis, is working. You don't need to do 1000 squats, you know. So if you do 100 squats, your legs will be gone. Whereas with this one, legs are also working, and without pushing it too hard.
So without a kettlebell, how do you do it at home?
That is what I showed you the other day, right? I'll just show you. Just hold on a second.
You can also give one of those Bisleri bottles a go.
Bisleri, yeah. But if you put water in it, put water in it, there's a higher risk of something going wrong. I'm just showing you, okay, over here, just over here. You see, here is a backpack, Sunu.
Yeah.
A backpack. Backpack always has a loop on the top.
Right.
Yeah, even if there's no loop, there's always a handle over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm just showing you, just like the kettlebell, keep the feet wide. It is in between my legs. So the way to pick up. Okay, so it's in between my legs. So all that I'm doing is I push my bum behind me. So behind me, I do not squat down. Okay, so slide behind and taking it up. When I'm taking it up, it is actually straight hand. I'm doing single hand because single hand, you can start with both hands, but if you have an imbalance like Bela does, Madhuri does, this is better for you. Because now, let's see, like I'm talking to you, this is, say for example, I'm talking to you and I'm doing it right now. It is, for me, it becomes aerobic, right? Because I'm able to keep up a conversation. Actually, it's not doing much at all because I'm talking in paragraphs. Okay, for example, it should be slightly heavier, for example. So it is giving me aerobic benefits, yeah? And at the same time, I'm also doing powerfully, right? I cannot, if I do it slowly, I cannot, if I'm doing slowly, it becomes too much. Yeah, I will not be able to do it at all. Here, as soon as I'm exhaling, all that I'm doing is I have to squeeze my bum and contract my abs, exhale going up. That is all. So now I've done this. You keep on doing like this, easy. Now, for example, I've done it now. I rest, I talk to you for 2-3 minutes. Then I can do it again easily. Now, but if I keep on doing it, let's just say for 100 reps, then I've overworked myself, right? And we do not want that. Yeah, so that tomorrow also when the need rises, I can always do it.
And what do you stuff it with to increase the weight? Books?
Yeah, books or magazines or whatever you want. You know, otherwise you can put your rice and atta, everything inside it. Madhuri does it with that sometimes because it's heavier and it takes less space.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, right now, those are the things we can do. You know, we do not have those kettlebells around everybody. Yeah. Okay, I don't know how to wind up this thing. Do you have any other questions, guys?
Mention even the Turkish get-up is one of the...
Turkish get-up is one of the best exercises. you should look it up a little bit more online. So when you look it up online, you'll have a better understanding and idea as to how to do it. You know, there are many different ways of doing it. The Russian system is the most natural one, which we have always found. Because and the kettlebell comes from Russia, and it was there for centuries. Yeah, and they were always working with it.
We have some videos on our that Elite Fitness YouTube channel on how to do the Turkish get up and the swing.
And the swing.
Yes.
But these are actually quite natural. You have your own biomechanics. So no, you know, your length and joints and everything else is different to somebody else. So I can only tell you some things. If you try to go totally on something, you know, it is not maybe ideal. As a trainer, I can tell you, okay, you know what, do it like this, because I can see your the shape of your body and all those things. If you ever feel in the lower back, that means you've done the swing wrong. And most people end up feeling in the lower back, you know, when they do the kettlebell swing. If you're feeling low back, that means you've done it totally wrong, because it is not a low back movement. Back is connected, but it is primarily a hip movement. It is a butt. It is for the glutes and the hamstring, and the lower back and the upper back and the shoulder, all posterior behind. Yeah.
I have a question.
Sunil, one question.
Yeah.
No, Madhuri, you go.
No, I don't like either one of you, so it's okay.
Okay. Can you say something about hydration while exercise? What is ideal and what is too much and what is too less? You know what, this is one of the most overrated topic of hydration. Okay. Drink when you're thirsty. That's all. You know, if you, I'm just quoting other people in Chile, in the desert, and all those people, they don't care for water. They are perfectly all right. There is nothing called saying having 2 liters a day, or whenever you feel like it, drink it. Right now it is humid. Of course, you will drink more automatically. I cannot say drink only 2 liters, and suddenly you need to have 3 to 4 liters, not because you're exercising, because it's so hot No,
and
I'm not
humid.
talking about throughout the day.
That's
Only
what I'm saying.
when you're doing outdoor exercise.
Outdoor exercise also, whenever you feel like it, have it. If you see any, for example, a tennis player or anybody else, they will never gulp water down. You should always sip water. Sip. I mean, if you're exercising or outdoors, you sip water, so that this part which has become dry, you take it. If you drink too much water, actually you will slow down. Too much water will slow you down. You can keep on sipping throughout. You don't need to keep on gulping water. If you gulp water, then you'll be.
No, that is the technique. But what I'm asking is, when you're exercising outdoor and water is not available,
But
and
don't
you
drink.
still keep exercising,
Nothing will. Nothing will
when
happen.
do you realize that? No, I mean, does it make you dizzy? Less of hydration.
Yes.
When it makes you dizzy, then you then that's the
You
moment to understand.
Now, what happens is usually when you have 2% lesser water, your efficiency will go down by nearly 20%. So the ratio is of 1:10, okay, of your efficiency in exercise. But saying that, once in a while, it is okay. You can't do it all the time, but once in a while, it should be okay. Once in a while, you should do it anyway.
Okay.
So that the body also understands, you know, it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay to be not having water once in a while. Okay, but many people have died because of drinking too much water, because it puts too much stress on the kidneys. Remember, when you're eating food through the day, especially fruit is nearly 60 to 90% water. Okay, 60 to 90% of the water you're having, apart from other things, right? Fiber and other things. So you are having water. That is also water. In dal and rice, that is also water. You know, yeah. So you are having chas. Okay, that is also water. So don't separate saying, okay, I'm going to have 2-3 more liters of water again. Now you put more stress on your organ.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey guys, any other question? No, thank you. Everybody understood.
It was so complicated, I'll go for HRT instead.
What?
It'll be easier and quicker.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh, that. Oh, sorry. I forgot. Now, thank you, Villa. Now, I was talking about the hormones, which are the ones which benefit you. What happens with heavy weight training is the fact that human growth hormone is released more as long as you're eating well and sleeping well. Now, growth hormone is released by the pituitary and the hypothalamus gland because there is stress, because of the stress on the muscle, the organs get stressed. The adrenal gland releases epinephrine, which reduces the body fat. The pancreas releases insulin, which is anabolic hormone, and the liver secretes ILF, which is insulin-like factor, which is a growth hormone. And all of these hormones are going to the muscle and also to the brain. And in the case of men, testosterone is also released. Okay, so all of these are going to the brain also. So then what happens is when you are sleeping, when you are in your nighttime, when you're sleeping, the hypothalamus with the pituitary then start releasing growth hormones in the initial state of the sleep. Initial means the first few hours when you're in your deep sleep. Yeah, that is the time you're getting the maximum amount of growth hormone. Okay, HRT, which you say. Okay, so now this deep sleep, if you're having a disturbed one, if you're stressed, if you had an argument with your husband, yeah, so then not only your growth hormone not getting secreted, the husband is also getting fucked. Okay, so never have an argument before going to bed, please. Okay.
Okay, listen.
For my sake.
Yes.
Okay, guys, listen. So now the growth hormone is not getting released. Growth hormone gets released when you're sleeping in the initial state, and when you are in the morning, when you are awake, at that time also it is secreting, but at a very low level. But because of exercise and heavy lifting, the stress you put, that is why this process took place. Otherwise, it does not. The growth hormone does not get released. So HRT, which you say, the replacement therapy. Now, if you are doing proper weight training, that is happening naturally anyway. If you are taking outside sources, then it starts affecting the other organs. And then you have a problem. Thank you, Villa. That was a very good question. I thought about it, talking about it earlier. Then I went somewhere else, some other country I went to, Africa, and came back to this place.
You did so much traveling in this lockdown. This is not allowed.
So basically what you're saying is that HRT will happen naturally in the body.
As long as you're not stressing.
Menopause and after. So, you spoke about women who are overdoing it, myself included. And it's a terrible question to ask a man, especially a husband. So try and answer it professionally. But what I want to know is that this whole thing about hormone, fear of hormone, just because you're over 40 to 60 or 55, 60. And there's this general feel in women, at least in Mumbai, saying that, oh my God, you're entering this phase of life, which is scary and there's a lot of change, blah, blah, blah. And I get the feeling that the women get over consumed with
the thing is, apart from this hormone thing, forget about the hormone one, okay? There are other life-changing aspects which take place, usually because around the menopause stage, the kids have gone to college, usually, I'm just saying. And a female may feel that she's not as important anymore because the child rearing has taken place, the husband has a different, so you may feel those kind of things which are also going through, okay? And not important enough. That is what I mean. Okay, so that can also lead to stress. Yeah, and at the same time, other changes are also taking place. This physical changes and all those things. As long as you are listening to yourself, and again, I'm telling you, lifting iron is the fountain of youth. So I'm not saying you're going to live longer. All that I'm trying to say is, if you are training hard, you will have a better quality of life, which means you can die at 80 years of age, but in the last 5 years, you're in a hospital or in your bed with a nurse, okay? Or you can die at 75, traveling all over the world and climbing whatever Kilimanjaro and have a heart attack and die. I would prefer to die on Kilimanjaro having a heart attack. That's all I'm saying, okay? That I'm on my feet and dying rather than in the bed whiling my life away, you know? That is why you train, so that you can enjoy the rest of your life and other challenges coming towards you, that you can do those things rather than thinking, you know what, I'm going to live longer. Who the hell cares about living longer when you don't have a quality of life? Is that right? Or do you want quality of life? Do you want
you know what you said? It's like I always used to think that aging causes menopause, but actually after listening to CK, you realize it's menopause causes aging, because if you don't address it, you know, then that is what is going to cause the aging. So
yeah. Anybody else? Sonal, do you have any question? Are you okay?
Good, yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
Sunu, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, because Bela, I mean, I don't have to ask her because she's going to give me some bullshit answer. So as long as Sunu and Sonal are okay, I can shut this meeting down, because I'll get to hear from Bela anyway. Stupidity comes from Purnima most of the time. Madhuri, I'm forced into listening to her.
really.
And of course, you know, Bela will somehow find a good way of putting me down.
Sunil, stop the recording.
Okay. Oh, sorry. It goes around the world, guys. Sorry.
But thank you for giving